what are you looking for? I mean, one of the phrases you gave me a long time ago, and I've used it 1,000 times, which is past performance is the best indicator of future results.
Right.
And so, is it generally just a resume walk where you sort of get it, or how do you get deeper into what their past performance is to make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any silver bullet, first of all, answer. One of the things that I will say is that I always ask this question when I'm speaking. I'll say, so it's 2019 in the United States of America, in the litigious society in which we work and live. How many of you believe that references and the value of a reference check is essentially dead? Dead. Yeah. And I give people
a lot of them.
And half the room at least will raise their hand. I totally disagree.
Well, because if you're in a large organization, you're coached that when you get that phone call, even if you get that phone call, because now there's hire right,
right,
and a couple other things, but if you get that phone call, the answer is, here's our HR department.
Name, rank, and serial number.
Yep.
Right. We don't have to run down the whole reference thing, because your question was more about if you have your own staff engaged. Yep. Here's the point. This person has worked for somebody, right? Yep. This person that you're thinking about interviewing, thinking about hiring, they've worked in an organization. Probably at this level, they've worked there 20 years, 15 years, I don't know. So some buddies know whether they're a rock star or a knucklehead.
Right.
It's a known. It's just a question of whether you can tap into that. So the number one thing that we all look for, again, this is not surprising, is what do people say about this person? Now, you can't go on one person.
Right.
Maybe one person may have a vendetta. We know how this works. One person is an opinion, right? And two person is interesting. But three people is start to be a trend, and five people it's a done deal. So I'm always looking for what people have to say. And by the way, it's another part of the reason from a networking perspective that we want to know people, because I may not actually be interested in hiring you. I may be interested in hiring Jim, but you know Jim. So what do you have to say about Jim? That's helpful feedback for me to know. Yeah. There are other components of it. I can talk about some of what I have found to be some of the kind of core characteristics across players across industries, if that's of interest.
Yeah, no, that'd be so. I mean, but just closing that theory out, one of the things you challenged me, I think almost a decade ago, you said, ask for six references. And I thought, because at the time, everyone was asking for 3 references.
Right.
And it was interesting, after I started asking for 6 references, a couple things happened. One is the number of people I was networked to became bigger.
Right.
Just out of the chute.
Exactly, yeah.
And invariably, when you talk to those 6 people, you find some good candidates, which is
it's also true.
Very interesting.
Yep.
But the other thing that happened is, it's hard for some people to put 6
Isn't that interesting?
people together.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
My analogy there is that some people are like clear mountain streams, and other people are like the Everglades.
Wow.
Clear mountain stream. I can see right down to the bottom of you. What you see is what you get. Everything I hear from you is what your references say. Everybody's like, oh, Bill Russell, awesome guy, tremendous, absolutely. Love Bill, love Bill, love Bill, love Bill, love. Other people, it's like, I'm interviewing you. I cannot really get a feel. Like, you've obviously done some good things. You've been a part of some good organizations. I can't really get a feel for you. And then your references are kind of like all squirrely and squishy. You're opaque. That makes me very nervous.
Yeah.
And so I think you're absolutely onto something. And the references, by the way, end up being a great source of candidates. That's recruiting 101. The first search firm you go to work for, that's one of the things they teach you. So yeah.
Well, and if you're going to be the recruiter in chief, this is the kind of stuff you have to know and have to.
You do. And again, I really want to emphasize, I understand that people who have C in their title, right? You're not hired to be a recruiter.
Right.
You got 150 other things to do, and but as a strategic advantage to really understand this, if nothing else, if you and your people really understand this process well enough to really be able to partner up with internal recruiting, right? And say, listen, this is what I'm looking for. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Internal recruiting has 35 open job specs per person, right? And you're become a great client. Figure out how to work with them. Figure out how to make them work for you, and so that you become the person that they give the great candidates to, and then all the other departments are the ones they don't pay attention.